Good morning, Getty's nerds. How are you? I am fine, thank you for asking. We're on our way into Gettysburg. As you can see, it's another cloudy, overcast day, 53 degrees. Had to go into the closet and break out a jacket. It was so nice yesterday. It was a gorgeous day yesterday. It's been for a few days. But this is what happens. This is what happens. What are you going to do? What are you going to do? Not much. Not much, if anything. So we're heading into town. Going to do some more editing. Also looking at a property on at noon for something we've actually, it started when we were looking for our house. I'll tell you now, it was because the deal fell through, obviously, but there was a house that we had under contract on Hers Ridge, which we were going to make into an address in Gettysburg Airbnb, and it would have been perfect. It was an 1850s log cabin, supposedly. It's a log cabin nonetheless, and it's old. 2 acres. The rear of the property backs up to Willoughby Run, and you can sit on the front porch sipping your coffee, gazing out at Devon's position on the first day's battlefield. It was weird because we had the inspector go through. There was a laundry list of things. We presented it to the owner. Oh, well, we could take care of some of these. And then they, drag their heels. And then finally, they're like, okay, we did all the work. And we're like, great, if we could just see the invoice, or report from your contractor. And then they disappeared. And then next thing you know, the listing was saying that it was for sale. And we never heard from them again, or their agent. And it was a little strange. And it's occupied now. So it was under contract again, and then it was for sale again, and then it was off market. So we're not sure if the owner kept it and continued to rent it out. I had a little inside knowledge of the property because my friend used to be the property manager, and she told me about all the problems that it had. Nothing, but would need a little investment on the seller's part or our part. I also got a little insight into the owner, and the owner is somebody who wants to have a property, it's paid off, and she just wanted to keep collecting the rent and not put any money back into it, other than to put Band-Aids on it. And it was full of Band-Aids. Thank you, Phil, for the super chat. Thank you, sir. So it fell through, which was a disappointment because it would have been perfect and you guys would have loved it, and I would have loved to have provided a place for you to come and spend a weekend or a week or whatever you wanted to do. And I'm telling you, you would have absolutely loved the friggin' place. We were going to set up a little fire pit down by Willoughby Run. It would have been awesome. Would have been perfect for a Gettysburg podcast to have. But it didn't work out. But anyway, our backer and we're like, well, let's do something. And we've refused that we're in Gettysburg are nearly impossible. They're not impossible, but they're nearly impossible to get going now. There's a ton of them already. But to get a new property and turn it into one, the borough doesn't want them really, and so they make it kind of difficult. And I understand that because there's not a lot of places for people to just live, so it's a tricky balance that you have to strike there. But anyway, going to look at a new place, and we'll see. Sooner or later, it'll work. All right, let's see who's here. Gene Gene Hutchinson said, a rainy day in Gettysburg is better than a sunny day at home in New York. I believe that, Gene. I believe that. John says, howdy. Hello, John. Phil says, good morning. Good morning, Phil. Flot in Metaverse says, hey, I'm from India. Well, hello. Welcome. I love international viewers. I think that's so cool. And Dousdale says, from China, where are you going? There's often comments like, where are you going? Which I tend to believe are not real because there's different names that have them. But I'll pretend that you're real, Douse. And I will say to Gettysburg, just like the title says. That's where I'm going. And of course, the first place I'm stopping before going into the studio is for eggs and bacon at Gettysburg Baking Company. No bread, eggs and bacon. How you doing, Matthew? Good to be heard. Thank you, sir. Well, what was I going to tell you? I forget. Oh, I'm really into these anniversary shows, and for those of you who are not patrons, you'll see them on July 1st, 2nd, and 3rd. My question is, should I put them out on the day as a premiere, meaning you watch it live, or should I put them out the night before? And the reason I ask that is because the night before would make sense because most people are at home, you know, getting ready for work the next day. You know, so you could sit and watch it. Do it on the day of, I mean, yeah, you know, most people are not here, they're everywhere else, so it could work, but I don't know. I kind of like the feeling of, or the idea of, you know, putting them on the night before, because then you've got like the night before and all day from the moment you wake up on the anniversary day itself to listen to them. If you're driving to town, you know, you got a couple hours drive, you listen on the drive, you know, things like that. Day before, Phil? Yeah, night before. Okay, good. So we'll do it the night before. So June 30th, July 1st, July 2nd, those will be the days that the anniversary shows will come out. It has been decided. The council has spoken. Your eggs and bacon are on me today. Thank you very much, Matthew. I appreciate that. Valerie says night before as well. Thank you, Valerie. That's what we'll do. We will do that the Nacht before. I think that makes more sense. But I'm not enjoying the editing process, but I am enjoying seeing how well they've come out as far as audience interaction. And it seems like with each one, the audience got better. And I think it's because I put the audio out of the previous one, so people got an idea of what to expect. Yeah, so we'll see. I'm a Patreon, stoked to see it. Thank you, Wyatt. Thank you, double thank you for being a Patreon and being stoked. You can say, you know, Wyatt, I don't know if you keep up with your notifications, but you can see, you can get a glimpse of it, not unbroken because I'm editing them, but I'm live streaming the editing process just so people can see, you know, what it's all like and how much work goes into all the stuff we do. And you can kind of get an idea. You'll see it. And also, patrons, I'm going to release it to you earlier. But I would hope that when it comes out on YouTube, just to help out with the numbers, that you would turn it on again and watch it again when it's when it's being streamed on YouTube for everybody else. That would be a huge help, and we'd appreciate that. Or don't watch it when it comes out on Patreon and just wait until it's out on YouTube. And Phil says, super excited for these anniversary shows. Awesome, thank you. Wyatt says, I saw that. That's super cool. The Patreon app is kind of a pain in the butt. It keeps logging me out. Yeah, you know, I hear from a lot of people, and I report it back to Patreon, because really, I can't do it. I don't design the app, so there's nothing I can do about functionality and all that stuff. So you'd have to really complain directly to Patreon. And the thing is, they listen. Like they collect all this information, all this feedback, and they listen. It takes a while, because you got to collect the data and then think, well, what do we do? And then you maybe research and develop how to do it and stuff. So it takes a while, but it'll happen. It'll fix. I know they listen to the creators a lot, because there's a lot of stuff. In fact, I just put a post up yesterday that if you listen to all of our free shows, like say on YouTube or Apple Podcasts or Spotify, Stitcher, whatever, any of those podcast apps where it's audio only, if you listen to those shows on all those different apps, there's a way for me to sync our Patreon account with those free feeds, and I did it yesterday, and it imported all 522 episodes that have been out for free and will continue to. So now every time I post a show on the free feed, it'll also post on Patreon, and you can listen to all of our shows right through there. Right now it's available for free, but it'll probably be something that will eventually be for a higher tier, only because what's the point of being a higher tier if everybody gets the same thing? But just to kind of give you an idea, I'll leave it like that for a month before I restrict it. So there's a thing you can do there if you become a patron. I'm not sure. I'll probably put it at either the second lieutenant or the first lieutenant level. But if it's at second lieutenant, then that means first and second lieutenants get it. Or I might create a new level. Because I got to tell you, the one thing that has not changed in 6 years has been our Patreon fees. I have not raised those with inflation. So the inflation has cut into the effectiveness of the dollars we have raised, and so that has kind of constricted our growth, and that's one of the reasons why we've started a nonprofit, because it's just there's too much. Last month, you're gonna vomit when you hear this. Last month, the fees that they took out, and this isn't just last month, but I just happened to look at last month's fees, that they took out of our monthly income was $1,700. Now, that's vomitous to me, and I'm at their lowest level of support. So they have different levels of support that they'll give creators, and I chose the lowest, which used to be 5%, and now they bumped it up to 8%, and they got rid of the 5% level. And it gives you the very basic tools you need to manage your Patreon. So there's nowhere for me to go. I can't go down. I can only go up. That's their percentage plus swipe fees, and then the transfer fee into the bank account. Like, it's just, it makes you want to puke. And not that fees, you can't avoid fees. Fees are everywhere. But when you're not dealing with tens or hundreds of thousands of dollars a month, a $1,700 fee is quite a chunk. So it's I've been thinking of, actually, let me show you. This would have been the house that you would have been able to Airbnb with address in Gettysburg. That little white house there. That would have been it. But the owners were playing goofy and never happened. Now, what was I saying? Oh, yeah. So I was thinking of creating a new tier. I just didn't know what I would offer that tier that I don't already offer to the first lieutenants. Um, but now that you can do this, I think I might make it like kind of a one-stop shop where you can get the free stuff. Because a lot of people have said, like, you should put the free stuff on Patreon too. And I was just like, the amount of extra work that is, I don't have that time. But now I don't need to do the extra work. I did the extra work yesterday, which was linking the feed. And then now it'll just automatically populate. So there's no extra work from here on out, which is nice. So I don't know. I'm just rambling because I'm trying to fill time. I don't really know what I'm talking about, but we'll see. Let's see here. Where are we here? 6Q has entered the room. Hello, 6 questions. Super excited for these episodes. All that, blah, blah, blah. 6Q says hi. Good morning. Good morning, 6Q. Matthew Gillespie, good to know 6Q is among us. Wyatt says, oh no, I totally get that wasn't saying fix it. I usually end up getting to work, just difficult. No, I don't think I misunderstood what you're saying. I think I was saying something else. I think you're whatever you said. I don't remember what you said, but I think whatever you said reminded me of something else, and I might have gone a different way. I'm not sure what you're referring to. Sorry. Ooh, bitchin' okay, says Wyatt. Eric says good morning and good day. Good morning, Eric, to you. And 6Q says, I am at the first lieutenant level to support what you do. What I get out of it is only secondary. Oh, thank you, Michael. And you know what? You're not the only person. You're not the first person either who has said that. And I really appreciate that. I really do. Like that's very nice. Doesn't this view look strange without that giant tree right on the corner of the fence line here? Kind of naked looking. I wonder what happened to the tree. Anyway, I don't remember what I was saying now. Oh, I appreciate that people do that. But we really, and I know you listen to the Patreon shows, Mike, but we put those shows out for you because I feel like you deserve something else if you're going to, support us monthly. I only feel it's right. I don't like these Patreon people that have a Patreon account and don't do anything for the patrons. And a lot of them wonder why they only get 3 patrons. You gotta, in my mind, you gotta do something. You can't just sit there and say, support me because I'm wonderful, because you're not wonderful. None of us are wonderful. And so you need to work. You need to work and you need to show you're worth people's support. So you gotta put stuff out. Wyatt says, last year on my channel, they didn't pay me from June to the end of December. Then I just got a big deposit. It was kind of frustrating. Are you talking YouTube or Patreon? If they did that to me, I would be dead in the water. Last time I was on Oak Hill, I thought something was missing. I was confused. Then I realized the guide shade tree was gone. Yeah. I mean, maybe what happened? Did it split in a storm or something? Or was it disease? I never noticed it seeming like it needed to be hacked down. I meant to go down Howard. Sorry. But we'll go through the college instead. We're coming up on CWI. This will be the first one without Pete Carmichael. And it was around the time of CWI last year that he got sick. And I remember the first night, Friday, he couldn't make it. He usually does the welcoming. And to me, it just set the tone. Pete was great at getting people loose and laughing. And it just put everybody in the right mood. And then we went on our way. He missed Friday. He made it for the rest of the weekend, and but it wasn't. He was still, sick. He had bronchitis, and it wasn't the same. There was kind of a pall over the whole thing because he was, a little subdued and everything like that. But I remember at the end we went. They had like a beer, ice cream social type of thing. at the end, and we stayed, and Cindy and I went, and Pete and I and Cindy and his wife Beth got to talking, and we made plans to go to dinner. And I was excited for this because Cindy's new to the area. I'd kind of, well, I didn't drag her down here, but she wouldn't have moved here if it weren't for hooking up with me. Poor child. And and so I was excited because I was hoping that, she and Beth would hit it off, and they'd strike up a friendship. And so we made a plan to go to dinner the following week. And so that was that. And then at the end, Pete gave a little speech thanking everybody for coming and the importance of history and all this stuff. And it was a fun speech, as Pete often gave, and he was talking to people. That was the thing, is like he knows the people in the audience. And so it was like just a bunch of friends hanging out, and he'd point us out and whatever. It was a good speech, but it's more poignant to me now because that was the last one that I had ever heard him give, and it was the last CWI speech that he was going to give, and it was very nice, and it was very heartwarming, and I felt lucky, and I felt proud that I knew this man, and that he invited me to these things. He included me. When people around here, they don't take kindly necessarily to newbies, especially if the newbies start to grow, and they exclude a lot of times, or try to crush. And Pete wasn't that way. Pete was a guy who included you in things, and he saw the best that he could find in you, and he let you know it. And he let you, he reminded you of what was good about you and what value you had to the community. And he would include you in things. And the fact that I'm going to be on a panel at this year's CWI is all him. I kept badgering him for 2 years, but he finally relented. and the plans were underway already. They plan a year in advance. They start to, at least. Plans were already underway. I don't know. I'll just be forever grateful that I knew that man. I think he was one of the best people I've ever known in my life. Besides the humor and everything, I just didn't see an ounce of darkness in him at all. And he, is a human being. He probably had rough days and got bummed out and whatever, but I didn't see it. I saw nothing but light, and I saw nothing but joy and comradeship or camaraderie, whatever the hell the word is. And people like him are so rare in any community, but especially in ours. And it kills me to think that he's gone, and that I can't call him up and go get a beer and laugh. And we talked history, but we wouldn't stick with it very long, because that's what we talked about all day long at work. So we would go out and we would just laugh. And then he'd talk about sports, and I'd be like, I don't know what you're talking about. But otherwise, we would laugh. And I can't believe we're coming on a year. And the thing was, we made those dinner plans for the following week, and then they had to reschedule because he wasn't feeling well. And then we rescheduled, and then he had to reschedule again because he wasn't feeling well. And then it was like, I'll let you know when I'm better. So, it wasn't, they didn't keep setting dates and canceling. And then we were going to Doug Dowd's house for the fireworks. And as we were driving up to the house, we saw Pete and Beth walking from the house to Jeff Shara's house. And they were going over there for like a pre-party or whatever. And so then he came back, to the house for the fireworks, and he kind of hung out inside by the food table with Harold Holzer, and I went in to feed my face, and I started talking to them a bit, and that was the last conversation I had, and I didn't know this at the time, but the night that he was in the process of dying, Saturday night, I texted him because it had been a couple of weeks since I saw him, and I texted him and I said, "How are you feeling?" And I had no idea that he was on his way out. And I kept that text. I screenshot it and I kept it because I forget what it was he said, but the one that he had sent prior to that, which was weeks old or maybe a month old, I don't remember, was funny. But yeah, so this is going to be a different CWI for sure. It'll be a sad one, but I hope to see a lot of you out there. Because I don't know what, is it going to change? We don't know. I don't know who the new director's going to be. I don't know if they'll change it. I don't know if they'll continue it. I don't know. None of us know. So if you can get out to it, I would get out to it. It's a great time. It's like summer camp for Civil War nerds. And it is a lot of fun. And I have not seen, I'm sure there had to have been some kind of confrontations, but in the times that I've been out and about with the public down there, I have not seen one bad interaction with people. Everybody's walking around with a smile on their face. By the way, if you're a videographer and you would like to be able to attend CWI, I could use your assistance on that Sunday. You would be able to get in for free on my team, and you'd get a meal card. That would be the trade-off there. Unless you have to come from far, I'll pay you gas money. But yeah, really use your help. So that would be great. All right, let's see what we got here. Eric says, I am a first lieutenant, so Matt will answer the doorbell when I ring the studio. Then yesterday I came and he didn't answer. Yeah, that's another reason why I need to make a higher tier. I need a new doorbell. Doorbell we have, I don't know what happened. It was working fine. And I thought, oh, maybe the batteries need to be changed. I changed the batteries. Nope. Then I go, well, maybe it needs to be closer to the door. And so I moved it towards the window that overlooks right in front of the door, and nope, that didn't help either. So I think I just need to get a new one that's not a piece of shit. Last time, okay, there you go. Patreon, it's like no idea. All the college kids are packing up and heading home. Yes, they are. Doesn't bother me anymore that they're here because I don't live by them. So still, it's nice to see that place unoccupied. It's a very pretty campus. Estella says, Eric, at least it looks like a sunny day for graduation day tomorrow. Is Elizabeth graduating already? Jesus. Where has the time gone? James, Dr. James. Hello, James. Haven't seen you in a while. He says, good morning, good morning. Ghost, good morning. Six West says, Gettysburg can be a very territorial tribe. Pete cut through all that nonsense. Yes, he did. Yes, he did. I try to, but some people don't want me to, so they don't go along with it. But the ones that do, and that's what you need. You go where the love is, folks. You go where the love is. You don't try to make people respect you if they don't, because they never will, and it just makes you look pathetic. So you just move on. Matt Gillespie says, I'm sorry you lost your friend. Hopefully you can still enjoy CWI. I'm sure I will. And there's a lot of great people around. There's like, I don't know what you call it, but there's like the Pete Carmichael class of historians who were friends of his, and some were students of his now, and they all, and they'll be the first to admit, like, none of them, will come close to Pete, what he was and who he was as a person, but they're all pretty close. I think they are. I look up to them all. I admire them all. Many of them have been on the show a bunch of times, or at least once. But it's one thing to follow Pete's lead, right? Like, he sets it up and he says, here's what we're going to do. And you follow the lead and you're like, oh, this is nice. This is good. But he was that proverbial glue, I think, that held everything together. And we all miss him. We all understand, like, what it was he did, but he didn't think about, like, he was just him. So what he was able to do was just him being himself, and which is the way to go. But not everybody's self is as interesting and just full of light as he was, And so it's one thing to say, well, this is what it was that he did, but it's another thing to do it the way he did it. And that's going to be the big void that'll be felt for many years. And maybe none of us today, maybe the young folk today, will see another Pete Carmichael, but I think I'll be probably either really old or really dead before the next one comes along. And he'll be able to inspire a whole new generation or several generations of people. There's one every generation, so there will be one, but I don't know who it is yet, but he'll be there or she'll be there. And, All right, 6 questions. Very good. I'll count you into the volunteer corps. Can you learn how to do video between now and then? Operate a camera, and then can you spend a couple of grand on a camera to frame? My cameraman, Dan, he can only do Saturday, and he can't leave his equipment for me to use. So we'll go from a 3-camera shoot to a 2-camera shoot. But I also need somebody to man all the equipment. I mean, I could probably teach you once it's all set up, but I still need that 3rd camera. Pete was and is one of my favorite guests you had on, Matt. Yeah, me too. And I love the fact that we can always look him up on YouTube as well as the AG podcast. I do too. I'm very glad. So one day when Addressing Gettysburg is kaput and I'm not doing it anymore and nobody cares and it's a footnote in history, I'll still go and look back at this and listen and watch all these memories that I made of these great people who I'm very lucky to meet. I was saying to somebody who was I talking to? Larry Korchik and I were talking during dinner before the show the other night. We're both from New Jersey. And we both agreed, we both said in our own way that we grew up in New Jersey where there are 5 million people per square foot. It's a very densely populated area. And I have never met as many interesting people as I have here. And he made a good point. He goes, well, that's because everybody in New Jersey is just trying to keep up with the rat race. Nobody has time to actually live life. They're working, they're taking the kids to soccer, they're doing all of this stuff that distracts them from being alive. So that one day the house they bought for $150,000 would be worth $800,000 when they retire. They cash in their chips, they go to South Carolina or wherever, and they live like kings for the rest of their lives, not realizing they'll probably drop dead of a stroke or heart attack somewhere between the age of 45 and 65 because of the lifestyle they've led. Because they're not eating healthy, they're eating shit because they're always on the go. So you just grab what's quick and easy, and usually sandwiches are, and the sandwiches up there are delicious. and so we eat them like crazy. So yeah, but here in Gettysburg, um, even the assholes are interesting people. They're like they're characters out of a Larry David episode. That's what they are. Like it's almost a comedy walking around here, and the amount of people who are interesting and good and kind is night and day compared to New Jersey, and I'm sure a lot of other places like New Jersey. So, what was the point? Oh, I'll look back on all this, and I'll at least enjoy listening to them again. I can't listen to them now because I'm sick of myself. But someday, when it's all over, after you guys have gotten sick of it, that's when I'll start to look back and go, well, I did it for that period of time. And at least I can say I did that. Wyatt says, have a great day. Good chat. Beautiful drive. Thank you, sir. Tom, good morning. And Don says, have a great day and wonderful weekend. You too. And I'm going to say it's all of you as well. Have a great day and a wonderful weekend. I will, let's see. I'm interviewing Dale Dye tomorrow. And I don't know, that'll come out within the next couple of weeks. So you guys have yourselves a great day, and enjoy your weekend. Bye-bye.